I'm getting there.
Helping and sharing the load. It's worth the pointed road. When we sing together, we're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have the team that's tops here at St Andrews. They gotta give us what we're longing for.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mr. Spall.
It is, of course, Monday night. It is 7:30, and it is the Tilton Talk Show, the show that keeps you going all through this crisis that we're in. We ain't going to give up. Every single Monday we're going to be here. We're doing it through Zoom. We're all furloughed at home from the Tilton Talk Show. That means we only get 80% of the wasabi peas next time we get in. Hey-ho. Right, okay. So it's Monday night, and the special guest tonight is the absolute legend himself, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Dele Adebola. Yeah. How you doing, buddy? All right?
All good.
Yeah, good.
Cool. Are you all right, Paul?
I'm good, mate. Are you?
And Mrs. Brown?
Hey.
There we go. Okay, we're up and running. We're only going to do it for an hour again tonight, as we do it all the way through this furlough job that we're on. Hope everybody's keeping safe out there, not abiding by the rules. I did go out the other day just for a few hours, but wow, about 4 minutes. You know, you just got to do what you got to do. Times are hard. It's the same for all of us, and we just got to hunker down and get on with it. Okay, not a lot of football to talk about in a minute, but they're hoping to finish the season come June the 6th. I can only imagine that being behind closed doors. What's your thoughts, Dele?
You know what? I think it's the right decision to try and close the season off properly. I think if it ended and nothing happened, it would have been people's efforts for 3/4 of the season like that to just disappear up in smoke. It wouldn't have been right. So it's not ideal. Ideally, you'd want the fans in there, but in these times, that solution is the best one. I think that you could have.
I think it's the only one, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, you look at what Liverpool have achieved this year. Certainly this season, and you know, for them to lose that right at the death because of a pandemic, it would be just grossly unfair for them. It would be grossly unfair for anybody that's going to get promoted out of the Championship, and grossly unfair to them up the road who are hopefully going to get relegated. So,
I'm a massive Liverpool fan as well. So I'm not just saying it because it's Liverpool, but how do you go 20 points ahead of your nearest opposition and not win the league? How can you not give it to them? Really?
I know, crazy. I think we just got to wait for it to pan out, and when the scientists and the medical people give them the okay, then I'm sure they'll finish it.
Power off.
Oh, who's that?
Bluetooth speaker just switched itself off.
Oh, okay.
Great for radio, that was, Chris. Great for radio. And, you know, the season's... it has got to come to a conclusion, though. It really has. You can't be in a position where they just cancel it. Not at all.
Yeah. No, I don't think that was ever discussed, was it, making the season null and void?
It was discussed by a lot of supporters, certainly, Paul.
Yeah, but I'm talking... they've said that it was never discussed within the Premier League or EFL, apparently. So, you know, I think that their intentions are to get it finished. I'm obviously I'm massively in favour of the fans being there. But obviously, you know, even when you have a match on with no fans, I mean, Dele, you can say more about this than I can, but surely you've got at least a couple of hundred people in the stadium still anyway, with all the staff that work there, the medical staff, the coaches. Well,
you will have, yeah, at least a couple hundred.
Yeah, so...
And then you'll obviously have security outside to make sure nobody tries to get in.
Yeah, I mean, imagine Liverpool winning the league at Anfield and there's nobody there to see it. How many people are going to be outside?
I know. Well, that's it. I think you will find, if the pubs are open at the time, people will just convene other places to
yeah, but what's worse, though? What's worse? Is it worse being out in the open, do you think, or is it worse being in an enclosed pub? We work in the pub industry, so I know what's worse.
Yeah.
Having all the...
I suppose so.
Finish the glasses and we have to go around and pick them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the big concern there, though, is maybe 40,000 people, 50,000 people in a stadium at one time. So no matter the pub situation, the police or whoever could close the pubs down and make sure that no one was out. It's controllable.
I can almost pretty much tell you, Dele, right, from my point of view, from working where we work, is that we certainly can't see the pubs opening minimum September, October, November, even December. And I think that's an absolute.
The main moment that everyone's safe and stays well, football really is on the back burner at the moment, isn't it?
Well, life is everything.
Whenever it's safe to do so, in my opinion, even if it's next year, let's resume the season when we can. And if anything needs to sacrifice to do that, then it's next season, because obviously a ball hasn't been kicked yet. So,
I'd sacrifice the European Cup and the League Cup next season.
Yeah.
Well, you mean like the Champions League?
I mean, I don't care about the Champions League anyway, to be honest with you.
No.
Birmingham's fan, mate. Why would I be interested in the Champions League?
No,
we're not interested in winning stuff.
When you said sacrifice the European Cup, I wasn't sure what you meant. Did you mean the Champions League or the Euros like England?
Not the international ones. No, the Europa League.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'd scrap the Europa League and I'd scrap the League Cup next year, and then just full season.
I'd scrap the Europa League anyway and bring back the Cup Winners' Cup, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Is there much difference though?
But that's just me.
So, anyway, Dick, tell us about your time at Blues. You joined us in 1998, am I right?
Yeah, it was 98, halfway through that season. And then 99 was my first full season. I can't remember how many times we got into playoffs. I can't remember how many times I got injured.
It was great days, loved it. I met you, Dele, a couple of weeks ago in the back of the Gilmerick. And we were in one of the boxes up there with the guys from Bawdsey Labour Club. And I told you that my son had a rabbit called Dele Adebola. Right. I had to make a sign with Dele Adebola and take it to his rabbit hutch. So there you go, you got fame. I don't know where the sign's gone to, though.
My dad, Dele, my dad had the old stripy shirt. Do you remember the old Tesco carrier bag shirt we had? With number 10 Adebola on the back as well, yeah? Yeah. So
Oh, mate, you're a cult figure, definitely.
But your debut, you signed from Crewe, and am I right in saying your debut was against Crewe and you scored?
I think No, I made my away debut. So my first away game, I think, was against Crewe, yeah.
And you scored, didn't you?
Scored. I was trying my best not to for the whole game and stuff.
Dele, you won't beat him. He's a savant, honestly. His memory is just unbelievable.
He's got incredible memory. He does that every week. How do you remember these things, Paul?
It's mainly useless information as well that's never going to get me anywhere,
On a non-Birmingham City topic, right, I've just had my dinner not long ago. Two sausage, 2 eggs, chips and beans. Went to pour the pot on, because I love black pepper. Went to pour the black pepper on. The top fell off. Right, all of the black pepper went on my dinner. I just ate it anyway. We're going to waste that, mate. We're going to waste that. Quality. But, I'll take you back to the infamous Ipswich game then, Dele, where you put that cross in. Oh, man, I looked at it again the other day. And, the atmosphere and that. The pitch was in an absolute... It was like a minefield when it was terrible. Awful. A bit like Tranmere's is this year. Yeah. And, that game, just definitely one that's up there, right up there in my life, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you put the cross in for Granger's goal, did you, Dele? Is that right?
Yeah, no, I found myself out on the right wing. I think it was probably the only place I could stand up, and I've managed to find a bit of space and then put the ball in the middle. And forced me all that time, chased everything down. I think he went in for 50-50 with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper bottled it. The ball flew up in the air, and then there was Granger to come and nick it off Jeff's head.
Yeah.
Put it in the net.
But that goal was where it took that bobble and the goalkeeper missed it.
I know.
And then come on, Mo.
But Jeff was steaming in. I think he had his eyes on the ball and was going to take everything out that move at that point. So the keepers made an attempt to try and stop it. But, it went in our favour. So we were complaining about the pitch, but sometimes you have to do that. Ipswich was probably one of the tougher games in that run up towards the final as well. So It was a massive relief to get past them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they were a good team then, weren't they? They were in like the Champions League under George Burley, weren't they? In the top side of the Premier League.
Yeah. I remember playing at the back. There was Herman Hreiderson. Wow,
good player.
Just throw balls and just physically, just to play against him was ridiculous. He was a top pro, and they had other players. There was another centre half. I can't remember his name now, but they had a.
Was it Mark Venus?
No, it wasn't Venus.
John McGreal.
He was a young lad at the time. Went on. I think he played for Wigan and Newcastle. What's his name?
Titus Bramble.
Oh, you know what? We'll be trying to remember.
Titus Bramble.
But it was a Bramble. That was it. One of the strongest centre halves. Yeah, one of the strongest people I've ever played against.
Yeah.
Would you say that's right up there with one of your best games ever?
In terms of memory, the final was the best for me. Obviously, coming from Liverpool, playing against Liverpool, one of my old muckers, Robbie Fowler, who I grew up with playing for Liverpool schoolboys with, and to play against him after he'd set the world alight, burst onto the scene. It was just a fantastic moment for me. So that wasn't far behind. The atmosphere at St Andrews that night was incredible.
Oh, yeah. Just, I've still got a throat, mate. Still got a sore throat 20 years on.
It was incredible.
It brings massive memories back whenever you see stuff like that. It's just a shame that we haven't got a library. I'm going to tap into Blue's archive and see if I can get some more stories and things.
There's quite a lot on YouTube. Have a look on there.
Yeah. There's a couple that are reeled out. When not that I type my name in too often to have a look. There's a couple. There's about 4 or 5 that come out with me, but from my recollection, I enjoy more the sort of the tap-ins and stuff, and you just can't find them anywhere. No one bothers sort of putting those in.
Goal's a goal, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell you, I've got good memories of you as well against the Baggies and Wolves. I went to Molyneux away when you ripped them to shreds and we beat them 3-1, I think it was. Dougie Freedman put them 1-0 up, and then I think you got 2 and Peter Unlove got 1, and we absolutely destroyed them 3-1. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Another one of those games, absolutely amazing memories. And you know what? I think my time at Blues, the highlights would have to be a lot of them have to be against West Brom. I think I scored in almost every game I played against them, 1 or 2, with obviously assisted with him Unlove and Fairlawn. But we did used to terrorise them.
It's amazing to think how that team didn't get promoted, wasn't it? Really, we didn't have much luck with Furlong getting injured, and we couldn't keep him on the pitch for the whole season either, could we? Which was a shame, really. We did miss him as well. Yeah,
it was a really difficult one because our team was made up of runners. I mean, we were hard working, we were physical. I think under Barry Fry, there was a lot of players, and Trevor just trimmed that right down. So he had a lot of quality in there. But in terms of bodies in the squad, it was a lot thinner. So when we had problems and with players like injuries and stuff, we really suffered from it. And by the end of the season, if you think of Paul Fairlawn, who was well into his 30s, having to play the amount of games he had to lead up to it, and then at the end of it, who'd be surprised to see he was injured a bit? And even me, I think I was 20, 21, and I was getting injured, leading up to the playoffs and the end of the season as well.
Yeah.
This is a good run to that, actually, Dele. Pete Taylor says, does Dele remember sliding in to score and smacking his knee off the front post in front of the Tilton? It's a sound I won't forget, says Pete Taylor. Do you remember that?
Against Watford.
Yeah. No, you know what? It changed my whole career, to be honest. It could have ended my career. I remember previous to that, I had hamstring problems, just the heavy pitches coming into Christmas. I was out for a few weeks, and I think Trevor was pretty keen to get me back in. So I've gone back into to cut into the squad, came off the bench, and there was a golden opportunity to score a goal. Here's me hurtling 100 miles an hour, could see the post, knew I wouldn't be able to get out of the way of it. And then so I sort of tried to put my leg up to put in with my foot instead of going with my head.
Bang.
And I think the defender behind me gave me a little nudge. Which, I mean, there's no animosity or there's no hard feeling from doing that because he's got to put me off putting in a certain open goal and stuff. But I think that just sort of threw me and I've gone 100 miles an hour and whacked my shin right into the post. It was, when you go down and I tried to get straight back up instinctively straight away and just couldn't.
Did you have to go? Did you go off, Dele? Did you have to go off?
Yeah. Tried to roll back onto the pitch, just couldn't. It was gone, me cruise ship.
Yeah, I can't bypass the League Cup final though against Liverpool, Dele, without saying we were robbed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Young Andrew Johnson come on and I think he set the place alight, didn't he? There was a couple of penalties he should have had.
That one off Moncho was a terrible. I still can't believe to this day that it wasn't given.
Right at the end of the game, the incident where he should have given a stonewall penalty.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can understand as a referee, the game hinges on that, and then what you're saying is you're going to give Blues the cup and knock Liverpool out of it. And so I'd say the referees, he's made the wrong decision, but the circumstances he's done it under, it was massive, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I'm going to hammer him too much.
David Ellery.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lovely.
We've had a few questions in from some of our fans as well for you, Dele, if that's okay. I'll put a post on in the week just asking, if they've got any questions for you. We'll ask as many as we can. So, Stephen Gill's asking, how serious were Liverpool and did you regret not going there?
Typically, young talent. I think our Liverpool schoolboy squad, we had, I don't know if anyone remember Tony Grant. Obviously, like I mentioned, Robbie Fowler. There was Noel Whelan. We had a fantastic bunch of players, and Liverpool offered a lot of us to go there, 2-year contracts, 1-year YTS. And so they were serious. They wanted young talent. But in terms of the way I saw it and the way after I spoke to Crew, because I was sort of going up there as well, with that much talent flying around the place, and then in the first team you've got world-class talent. Realistically, you'd have to do something absolutely amazing to get anywhere near it. So the dream would have been perfect until you maybe 19, 20. Oh, I'm a Liverpool player, without making any appearances or maybe coming off the bench. But if you're desperate to make a professional footballer, what decision are you going to make? I didn't think I had the choice. I did well, obviously representing the city and drawing that kind of attention. I wasn't a bad player. But in that same side, Robbie Fowler, who, if you're from Liverpool, you'd understand what I'm saying. He was treated. They earmarked him for first team football from about the age of 10, 11 years old. So when you're competitions like that, I definitely thought I made the right decision. Who knows what would have happened? I might have been a centre half or played somewhere else and I made it there. But it wasn't a risk I wanted to take. I just wanted to play football. I wanted to play football as a professional. So going to Crew was the right option for me.
Yeah. And Stav Smith has said, who at Blues was your favourite strike partner?
You know what? I got on so well with all of them. Nicky Forster really gets mentioned, but he was fantastic. I remember Mark Birchall, who came on loan from Celtic and he got me going again. His movement was amazing. And Marcelo, pure goal scorer.
Hello, yeah.
Jeff Horsfield, strength. But in terms of, I think Paul Fairlong, I learned the most off him.
Yeah.
So coming into a raw young player from Crew and just watching him, he's been at Chelsea, just the way he put himself about. I think I learned the most out of him. So I'd have to say him because he was a role model, older, pro, been there, done it. We were sort of I suppose, just in awe of him. You know, he was a fantastic professional as well.
Yeah. And Paul Gill's asking you, what was the difference between Bruce's type of management against Francis, and had Trevor lost the dressing room when he was sacked, or was Sullivan making the call? So what was it like at that time when sort of Trevor was coming out and Bruce was coming in?
It's a weird one, but that year, like, I spent sort of in the physio room, so with Neil McDiarmid, the physio, because I was recovering. But in terms of the mood of the dressing room, I think it was more of a board decision. Trevor was loved by the players. You knew he had it in him to get us promoted. It's just we were just short on those occasions through injuries, bad luck, because it was literally bad luck. Those. Steve Bruce was flying. He'd done really well. He kept in touch with the board. And I think the board maybe just decided it was time for a change. It happens, you know. There's fantastic managers get moved on, get the sack all the time, and I think the board wanted to just shake things up again and have another look at someone else.
And Carl B asked if would Spurs away be your favourite game for Blues when you obviously got the brace at Tottenham in the League Cup court? Was it the quarter final or was it?
I think it might be.
Wednesday beating the quarter final, wasn't it? I think it was just before that one. It was the third.
It lives in the memory because, like, that night, you know, you really up for it. You want to test yourself against Premiership opposition, and like I don't think I started great. First 10 minutes didn't really do anything. I remember having a kick at the ball. They had loads of possession. They were comfortable. The fans were sort of, you know, as we walked into the pitch, were acting as if, oh, it's only Blues. They turn up. I think they thought it was going to be 6 or 7 to them. And then, but once we got our foot in and our counter-attacks were standing as Reedus on the wing, and Birchall that night was on fire. We had some fantastic performances. Like, I just got going. You know, it just after our first goal went in, we just knew.
You're just on it, yeah. He must have been wonderful to play with, Dele, Stan Lazaridis down the left, and them crosses he used to put in.
Yeah, those long, rangy legs. My second goal, he's gone past this player and he's swung the cross in with such accuracy. I had so much time. I think I controlled it and then just struck it in the Premier League. You know, when does that happen? Like, and that's down to the quality we had around us, and that's what I mean. We probably should have got promoted in one of those seasons.
What would you say was your best goal for St Andrews, Dele?
At St Andrews. Most memorable would have to be, there was, I think it was against West Brom, and it's one of those that gets played. And it was really simple. I've knocked it past a defender. I can't remember what defender it was. He's gone to ground. I've just skipped past him, put the afterburners on, and it's just a straight line. It's not lots of tricks or come out. And it was just simple. And when I watch it, I think, go on, wow, I had a bit of paper about me then.
I remember that. I remember it well.
Yeah, you remember that goal? Yeah.
I remember that goal. Yeah. We won.
You remember everything. You remember everything, Paul.
Yeah. Was it 4-0, Dele? We beat them 4-0, didn't we?
I think it was quite a few. Was it? Did Peter Unlock get 2 that day?
I think you got one and Grange, you got the other one, like a tap-in. Yeah, I remember it well, yeah. And I remember you wanted Man City away as well. That was unreal, that run all the way from the halfway line. And then your celebration was just like you was like literally lying flat on your back.
We just played 90 minutes against a very good Man City side. And it was just weird. We didn't get much change. To watch the highlights, you'd think it was like, we battered them or whatever. But it was a smash and grab. City were fighting for their lives. They brought the game. They made it so hard for us. And it was just that one ball off Steve Bruce. He didn't look up and just smash it into their heart. He's found me. And then I think the rest is history. I think the wind just took me the rest of the way. I didn't have it much in the tank to go on that run, but I managed to find that burst of pace. Keeper come out, made it easy for me, and just a little dink. Just
Thinking over him, yeah.
Yeah, and then just celebrated by having a breather.
Brilliant.
We've got any comments coming in, Chris? Because I'm only on Zoom, so I can't see him again.
Oh, yeah, there's loads, but I've lost my finger. I can't read that one. Who is your football hero, Dele?
Football hero. Again, Liverpool brought up the likes of Dalglish, Beardsley, Barnes. And believe it or not, I started off as a left winger and, John Barnes. So it would have to be him. Watching him growing up as a kid, trying to emulate him. It wasn't easy being the size of me and stuff, but that was someone who I tried to sort of mould my game to, and then he stuck me up front and that ended. But I still admire him now for what he did.
You have to wonder what it'd be worth today, Dele John Barnes. He'd be over 100 million, wouldn't he?
So weird. I really see clips, go back and watch games, and then the last couple of weeks you go back and watch the games, and the couple of Barnes are amazing. He was just frightening. Beardsley was up there as well, in a different way, but the two of them were devastating for Liverpool.
Yeah, great players, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Did I dream that? Didn't Barnes he scored against Brazil once?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I thought he did, yeah. I thought I dreamt that. Craig Courtney wants to know, who was the best player you ever played with?
Professionally. You know what? Probably I'd have to say Steve Bruce. In terms of quality, people talk about Trevor when he was in training, the managers and stuff. In training, he was a different class and he'd hit things and go on top corners and whatever, but I never played with Trevor. But when you used to see Brucey in training, he was amazing. Just his timing, his reading of the game, his knowledge. You could see he wasn't a quick player, but you could see what kept him in the United side for that long. Him and Gary Everett at the back, not at any pace between them. And that the season when I joined, they were a rock. I mean, they had Rowett on one side, who was a Rolls Royce as well, and then Grange on the other side. So they had fullback to get them out of too much trouble. But the reading of the game was immense. And when you play with top class players who've played at the level they have, you remember it.
Rowett was a really good player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah.
Mick Greaves wants to know, Dele, who was your footballing hero?
We've just had that one, Nick.
Have we?
Yeah. Keep up. Craig says you'll like this one, Dele. Craig says if Barnes was worth 100 million, what would Dele be worth? You don't have to answer that. We know it's going to be 200 million anyway. Yeah. Ray says, Dele, do you have any regrets in the game?
No, and that's probably because I try not to think about it. There's probably a million of them, but what's the point in looking back and having regrets? I had a fantastic career. I played in the Championship of the Blues that year, Wilmington Cup final. It could have been better, but how many players don't even make it as a professional player? You've got to be thankful for what you have done, as opposed to that extra percent would have took you to have a better career in the Premier League or maybe even international football, but it didn't. So, you've got to be happy with what I achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, mate. I struggle to walk up the country road nowadays.
Who was the Dele? Who was the best and worst trainer that you was with at Blues, and the best and worst dresser, and the best and worst dancer?
I love this one.
Off the top of my head, I can remember Brian Hughes, fellow Scouser, would be on the training ground when everyone had gone home, just practicing his free kicks, and he stuck in my mind in terms of a really good trainer. There was other people, like you just mentioned, Guy Rowett always would do extra. There was lots of people who would do a bit more, but usually I'd have to give him a mention because he was a really, really good trainer. The worst trainer, probably me. I can get myself always size me and stuff. I just needed a bit more rest and stuff. But no. Best and worst dresser. Worst dresser, I'm going to have to start with Michael Johnson.
Oh!
Brutal.
A lot of it wasn't so much that his gear was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
You're not the first, and you probably won't be the last from that squad to tell us this.
No. He's a regular listener, by the way.
Yeah. I'm trying.
So, Dele, what are you doing with yourself nowadays then?
He was up there with Dean Holdsworth because he used to wear like these slipper type trainers used to get hammered. People used to hang on doors and all kinds. So the red Dean Holdsworth and Michael Johnson.
And the best and worst dancer?
Worst dancer. You know what? I'm gonna say myself. I never used to do.
What, best or worst?
Worst. I never get involved. So on that default, if I would have done, I probably would have been crowned the worst. So I got myself the worst, the best dancer. I'd say either Jono, Michael Johnson. You'll find Jono in a lot of answers for a lot of players because he was everywhere. But yeah, he's got to be up there as well, Jono.
Because we had him as the worst off skip. Martin O'Connor said he was the worst. He had no river.
I think you're trying to win favours here.
I give him the worst dress. I can't hammer him. Like, you know, he's got.
Little old Brenda Brown from our Sassy Blues Association says, say hello to Dele for me. Ask him to remember talking to me. I said to him, you make me small. He says, and how tall are you? Little Brenda. Do you know Little Brenda?
We love Little Brenda.
Always with Jeremy.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's lovely.
Cool. So, well, let's say a nice big hello to her.
Yeah,
No, hi, Brenda. How are you?
Nice one. We've also got to say a big thank you to Linda. Last week, she had a head shaved live on the show for our PTSD charity. Linda's about 73 years old, something like that.
80 even.
Old, perhaps a little bit older.
Yeah.
Nobody ever knows, really, to be honest with you. No, but she little 9-year-old Jack shaved all her hair off live on the show last week. And with the gift aid, it's raised over £700 for the PTSD charity. So thank you so very much for that. Yeah.
Good going.
Well done. Well done. And thanks to everybody that contributed. And thanks, Linda, for the laugh, because it was fun.
Classic. Absolutely classic.
Classic moment. Yeah, but no, I mean, the times like we're all struggling today, right? And the times like that to raise £700. And we've also got to say a massive thank you and a well done to Captain Tom Moore. Man, what a bloke. What a hero. That 9-year-old guy who's raised all that money for the NHS, one thing or another. 99 years old and you decide to go on a sponsored walk. Okay, it's round your garden. The man's 99 years old, been through 2 world wars, and he goes and does something like that.
Is it over 20 million now, Nick? He's got over 20 million now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he should be knighted.
Immediately, yeah. Doesn't have to go and see the Queen or anything. You know, he could just sling him his medal in the post and be done with it. But he definitely needs that recognition, definitely. Because what started off with a crazy little idea to earn £1,000 has turned into 20 odd million in a week.
Legend.
Yeah. Non country, we're better than this. We need to recognise these kind of people.
Yeah.
Most
Linda says, Dele, don't believe him. I'm 21 with experience. Was that you again, Chris?
Yeah, sorry about that. Is that Curry? She's certainly got a lot of experience. Hey?
Dele,
what are you doing with yourself nowadays?
Yeah, no, I've just got a couple of companies, coaching companies. I've run a CIC, but my latest project is around bikes and stuff. So just, getting all the data, like personal training.
Push bikes or motorbikes?
E-bikes, the future.
Sorry?
E-bikes?
Oh, yeah, right, I've got you, yeah.
You mean like the Pelotons, that sort of thing?
Yeah. So e-bikes, watt bikes. There's lots of different ways of doing it. But in terms of engagement for the kids that we sort of work with, it's fantastic in terms of if you see a lot of in football and a lot of sports now, to get the readings to really track improvements in your fitness, like you need some pretty fancy equipment, and it's not always available to everyone. So, like with what we're doing with the bikes, it's more for the corporate side, but then as soon as it gets passed down, so that then we can start using it to engage the community as well. So it's fantastic that the people who set up e-bikes run approached me and sort of said, would you like to get involved? And like I'm hooked on using them, but there's some fantastic ways we can use them to like I said, to help people who wouldn't have that, wouldn't be able to afford to buy the bike, to some expensive piece of equipment involved with it. So yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Good sense, yeah.
Nice one.
One thing we've asked Dele to do, Nick, is pick his Blues 1 to 11. So the best players you played with at Blues. Obviously, I'm conscious of time now. It's gone so quick. We've been on 40 minutes already.
Oh, crikey.
Just before you do that, just one very quick word. Mick Greaves has just said that Captain Moore has now raised over £26 million.
Oh, my life.
Wow.
Thanks ever so much.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
So, yeah, Dele, what formation are you playing?
What formation? I'm going to go for a 4-3-3. That seems a typical formation, but there's just so many places to pick from.
Okay. So what we go on then? Hit us with your 11.
So in goal, I'm going to have to go with Ian Bennett.
Biddle.
Centre halves, we've got Michael Johnson and Gary Ablett. I haven't put Bruce in, even though I've just said. John Oak, because he was like great mates with everyone. He was like and sold the party, and Gary Ablett, like deceased Gary Ablett, was a mark of respect. They'd have to throw him in any team. He was a
great
quality player, yeah.
We've got the Rolls Royce Gary Rowett at right back.
Yeah.
And I think you couldn't have a Blues team without Martin Granger on the left.
No.
Could you really?
Yeah.
Moving into midfield, we mucker from Liverpool, Brian Hughes, fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. I think we used to do everything together. Hughes, he was a big influence on me when I was at Blues. Martin O'Connor, Holden midfielder. And then you've got Nicky Eden on the right side of midfield.
Right, yeah.
I think understated.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Utility player, fantastic technique. And would give everything every game. So, we had him in a heat in there.
We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, just before the lockdown, the week before. So, Nicky Eden, yeah, and you was in his as well. So that's good.
You can pay me later. We've got Peter Unlove on the left. Sorry, on the right. Again, someone who doesn't get mentioned too much, but he was fantastic.
Some cracking memories.
Yeah. And Stan Lazaridis on the left, we mentioned about the Tottenham game, but he was a top class player.
Right player, excellent. Watching him play.
Up front, I've gone with one striker, and I probably could have left so many people out and stuff. I mean, the likes of Horsfield, who have played up front, Marcelo, Stern John, so many people, but I'm going to have to go with Furlong. I spoke to him about in terms of his contribution, the way he put himself at the club and the stature he had. For me, was the main man, the number 9. Couldn't get that number 9 shirt off, and ended up with number 10 and number 24 and all kinds of stuff. But when I was there, I think Fairs was number 9.
He was a finisher when he Furlong. He was, Premier League level, really, wasn't he? Him and Unlove, we signed from the Premier League, and you could see why they were in the Premier League, couldn't you?
Yeah, it was a joy to play with them. It really clicked, especially the one season. The three of us really took off, but by the end of the season, like I said, most seasons to play, the amount of games, and then as you could see, on some of the old videos, the state of the pitch by the end of those seasons, it's like running in sand. It was.
I was actually in Mallorca when we signed him, to be honest with you, and my ex-father-in-law just turned around and says, "Any idea that you just signed Paul Furlong?" I said, "Oh, don't be so stupid." It was like it was on the back of the press, yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, that summer that Furlong signed was quite exciting. That was when Trevor first came, and we got Furlong, we got Barry Horn, we got Gary Ablett, we got Steve Bruce. They're all from the Premier League, and it was like, wow, what are we doing here? It was pretty good summer that was in signing. Yeah. And then a bit later on that season, we signed Anders Limpar as well from Everton, who was another player from the Premier League.
Yeah. How does he remember this?
I know this. It's weird. Like I'm seeing clips of players who've come through Birmingham City. It's ridiculous. Like even after I've left up until now, you look through and you're seeing like players from all over the place, Premier League, top class internationals. I remember when I first came in, I remember Mike Newell and Tony Conti.
That was another. Yeah, Mike Newell was another one we signed as well from the Premier League.
That was a shocker, Mike Newell. I remember him coming on thinking, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, he scored a couple of goals, Chris, but he just didn't settle here. He wasn't happy. He wanted to move
he didn't. Did he at all?
He didn't fit in.
No. So I presume your captain in your team, Dele, would be Skip, would it? Martin O'Connor?
Yeah, he'd have to. I think Martin O'Connor, really. Yeah, he was Skip. We still call him Skip now. We see him, he's still a Skip, so, yeah. I have to give him the armband.
Yeah. And what do you think of today's team? What are your thoughts on the team we've got at the moment?
I think the achievements over the last two seasons, so last year and this year, have been amazing because Blues were a team that should have been in League One. 100% should have been in League One.
Twice.
Yeah, the lack of funds, everything was against the club. And then you've had Gary Rowett come in and turn things around. Monk's come in and then I think slightly improved it. And then now, like, the transition's been kept up, which isn't an easy thing this season. Was a really hard job to follow those two. It could have gone so horribly wrong. But, it's been great to watch. There's been some low sides, but I think the emergence of Bellingham, the way that we found a style of play that I think most people would say now suits Birmingham City, is great. And you can only think that we can only go from strength to strength from here.
It's back to a Birmingham City style of play now, though, isn't it? It's none of this like happy-tappy football or something. We're back to where we want to be. Even as supporters, we can see that. Yeah.
And you had to go through the tappy stuff while you're trying to find the way that you're going to play. At the beginning of the season, I think a lot of people were frustrated because the results weren't coming. But the results come with confidence. Once you start believing that you can win games and you're going to do well with it, the players and then the fans got behind the players, and the players really, there was a couple of weeks or months even where the players looked unstoppable. You couldn't have ruled them out for a playoff push, but again, it's settling down in the squad. There's lone players, there's people moving about. But once that squad gets properly settled, like I always expect big things from Blues, especially at home.
Do you think we'll keep hold of Scotty Hogan?
It's going to be a difficult one. He did what he was asked to do in terms of he's come in and he's scored goals. He's recaptured the form that got him a move to Villa in the first place. And because of that, I think he's probably going to end up back there. They're not going to let... They know they could probably get really good money, maybe even the kind of money that Blues might not be able to challenge, or a goal scorer who they can give a go, because they're struggling to find that player in their squad. And if they've got someone scoring goals full of confidence, I can only see them taking them back to at least give him an opportunity. But if he doesn't do well again, fingers crossed, while he's back at Villa, I'm sure he'll be more than welcome back to come back to Blues again.
It's a great partnership with him and the Duke, though.
Yeah.
Works well.
Duke works well with everyone, though, doesn't he? Like, if you leave him up there by himself, he'll get his his fair share goals, but when you put someone with him, like that's when the two of them come to life. He's got to have a striker like him.
Yeah.
Would you prefer that yourself, Dele, as a striker yourself? Was it better to play on your? You didn't really play on your own in your time, though, did you? As more had somebody with you all the time, didn't you? Or
yeah, at my time at Blues, because I think we had more strikers than any other position, so we had to get them all on the pitch and stuff. But after Blues, I think I was mainly up front by myself, but I definitely work better in a partnership, either with a number 10 like a Brian Hughes who plays off like just behind you and plays you in, or a striker who goes in behind and you become more of the target man. You know, so whichever way it was, like two dedicated strikers was definitely my preference.
Yeah, mine too as well. You can't beat it with two wingers going to the byline, whipping the ball in. That's the best. That's the best way forward, isn't it? And it's not many teams do it these days.
There's trends, isn't there? And I think the trend now is moving back towards two up front. It does seem like, you know, a lot of analysis, a lot of working out goes on, and people know how to play against the one striker. So now to change it up, the braver team will sort of sticking two up front and go on work.
Yeah, I can't be done with all these diamonds and Christmas trees and goodness knows what else. You know, stick to the basics. It's a game of football.
Yeah, playing out from the back as well drives me mad when the keeper rolls it out to the defender on the edge of the 6-yard box. That drives me mad.
I think that's all right, Paul. If you can play that style of football, that's good. But that's not our way, is it? It's not our way.
Yeah. Well, with us, that's what I mean. It drives me mad when I'm going to watch the Blues and we're trying to do that. That's just not what, you know. It's all right if you got players like Real Madrid, but you know when you're trying to get Championship players to play like that, it just doesn't work, as we know.
Dele, we've only got 10 minutes left now. What's your thoughts on the current situation with the EFL?
Oh, like everyone, it's just a deep sigh. It's like, wow, again, where did this come from? Like, if I'm being totally honest, I don't fully understand why it's come about again. So, like, I'm sure with some of your knowledge, you'll enlighten me a little bit on what's going on, without swearing.
The difficulty is we don't really get to know that knowledge. We don't really get to understand I just don't get it. You get an independent inquiry, and that independent inquiry says yes or no. You just go away and be done with it, don't you? Huh? I know they had the right to appeal, but for goodness sake, especially in times like this now, man, it really has just shown their true colours proper.
Yeah. That money that they're spending on round 3 with us, like I said last week, you know, they could spend that on so much more.
Yeah, there's so many lower league clubs that are going to struggle through this. Yeah.
Well, Macclesfield are on a thread, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about. Actually, it's the amount of teams that are going to go out of business and the money needed to keep them going. Like, I think every available penny, every resource should be going into sort of to keep these teams going, and even below the conference, even below those lower league teams. If anything, it's more about the social development of the country. Like, so many people play football at so many levels. You start losing teams, what are people going to do? Like, you'd say, they move on to the sport, but like, you've got to have those infrastructures there.
Go on, ask me a question, Dele. Ask me if I could move away from the Blues. Go on.
Could you move away from the Blues?
He couldn't move away from a pint of lager.
Cheers.
So, who was the best manager you ever played for in your whole career?
The whole career. Slightly controversial, I have to say, Colin Todd.
Ooh.
Right.
I was actually I was at Coventry City, and I went on loan to Bradford City, and they were the division below. And the way he's welcomed me in, it was like I was a god. It was like, I can't believe we've got you. You know, when someone makes you feel like $1 million, it's a couple of years after I'd had my injury. Almost everyone, not everyone,
Sorry.
A time where your confidence wasn't great, and then a manager comes in and is like talking about you like before pre-injury again. Like, it gave me a massive confidence boost and really kicked on my career from there. So
good.
it was only about 3-4 months that I was there, but like it was fantastic. I had a great time. Bradford City.
That's good.
And your boy club, which was that one?
No.
Your boyhood club supporting, which club do you support growing up?
Liverpool, isn't it?
Liverpool.
Yeah, massive.
So how did you feel playing against them then? Did you really want to smash them and beat them? Be done with it?
No, I got dropped off at half time. It was like, no, you know what? It was amazing. Like the atmosphere before, the atmosphere afterwards, being on the pitch with them. Like you look at the pictures and you see. I don't know if you've seen that one where all the players are stood and looking up and shaking hands before the game.
Yeah.
Like I've got it framed in mind, and every time I see that, it gives me goosebumps. It's
awesome to go to, though, wasn't it? Just amazing.
It was so loud, Dele. That was so loud when was it Ericsson?
Yes,
It was walking along the crowd, walking along the players, and the noise. Oh my God! We'd keep right on, and you'll never walk alone. Oh, God, that was loud. It's making the goosebumps now.
That's my trait.
I know, but it's working.
It's great, isn't it? Love it. Yeah, it's always nice to see you going down the Blues on a match day. It's nice to see you there, mate. So yeah, crack on, keep it up.
You enjoying that? You enjoying doing what you do for Blues TV?
Yeah, it's weird because you asked me what I'm doing, and I didn't even mention. I'm doing so many bits and bobs, but I do. It's different. It puts me out of my comfort zone. Obviously, I haven't played, and then come out and did coaching and stuff. And media work is not something I'm a natural at, but like when you do it for anything for any time, you get used to it and you get better on it. And I suppose like it's given me a little bit of growth in terms of, and it helps with so many other things. So like any ex-players who are stuck at things to do and they're worried about dipping a toe in media work, just have a go. And
of course, Blues TV is good training for coming on here, Dele.
Yeah,
What, the profession?
I loved your commentary, Dele. I loved your commentary last season with Preston's goalkeeper. Do you remember when the ball went through him? That reaction, your reaction there was the exact reaction in the commentary box when he did it as well. You kind of like almost laughing on the commentary when he done it. You tried not to laugh.
Just unbelievable. You feel for the players when things like that, especially goalkeepers, they get so much stick anyway. But like it was, I looked away and I've looked back and it's in the net. And only when you've seen the replays and stuff that you realise just how horrendous a mistake it was.
I think that was the worst I've seen, and I include and all that in that as well. That was the worst because it was literally a pass back from Clifton back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, and I know throwing from Malberg,
Yeah.
And once a year, Dele, we have a Happy Enkelman Day as well. Oh, Chris?
Yeah.
Happy Enkelman Day. Proper. Don't know where that last 55 minutes has gone, ladies and gents, but we're almost out of time. My goodness me. With our guest tonight, of course, Dele Adebola, Paul Hipkiss, Chris Brown and myself. Don't forget, lovelies, our friends at the BHST, that's the Birmingham Homeless Support Team, need your help. They also need any goods that you can pass along, toiletries, coats, hats, scarves, etc., etc., etc. Get in touch with Matty P. What's the big bloke's name? I'm going to get slated for this one.
BHST.
Patterson.
Bass, yeah, and TJ Patterson. Get in touch with any of the team there, guys. If you've got anything you can possibly donate towards a local charity, then please do so. Keep them going. Keep them running through this coronavirus outbreak. And I can't really say much, really, but what an absolute delight to have you almost in the studio, Dele.
No, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Nick, Paul, Chris.
No, mate, listen, honestly, when we all get over this, come back in and have a proper chat, yeah? And do the hour and a half with us.
Come in the studio, Dele, because we have biscuits.
Oh, I'm there.
Only for guests.
We don't, Dele. He's trying to tempt you. We do not have biscuits, believe me.
We can quickly.
And I make everybody a
About
cup
8
of
or 9
tea.
years ago, we used to have a bowl of wasabi peas and the most disgusting things out, and he found one on the floor about 4 years later.
No, and I make everybody a cup of tea. I have a nice spread out. You know, all the business.
When he says spread out, he means he lays on the floor and does nothing.
We can quickly, just before we go, we can very quickly ask another couple of fans questions because I'm conscious that I've asked most of them. So,
Okay.
and I know it's not Paul Hickey's show.
Yeah.
So,
Another thing, Paul, we didn't have our bald 11.
oh no, we didn't, did we? We'll
No,
have to do that next.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
What was that one that we was going to do last week? Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Portman has said he loves seeing you before every game, Dele. You always look lost.
Like when I was playing or now?
No.
Yeah, no. I take a weird route through the ground because obviously parking, you've got a park right behind. It takes an hour to get out to the car park. So I park around the front and just run past all the stewards before they get a chance to nab me and stuff. So I'm always on the run. Typical Scouser.
And Linda said that you are Blues' Chris Kamara.
That's not a good thing. I don't think.
Unbelievable!
Jeff.
Compliment.
I like it. I love it.
Mm.
Well, I think that's
Have
Have we got anybody lined up for next week, Chris? Or not?
What's that, sorry?
Sorry, have we got anybody lined up for next week, Chris?
Not at the moment, but
No, if you know of anybody, Dele, just rag them off the streets for us, won't you, mate? We don't care. We'll talk to anybody.
yeah.
Oh, mate.
Speak to Dele, do you still speak to a lot of the lads that obviously you played with that Blues now?
Yeah, fair few of them, to be honest. It's a pretty small community, I suppose, and you've got them all. And I suppose the wonders of social media, you're all still linked anyway. So even if it's not face to face, you'll get the odd message off someone, or someone will just say hello. So yeah, I think pretty much you keep in contact.
And what about the man himself, Trevor? Do you still speak to Trevor nowadays, or?
I've seen him at Dickens Heath a couple of times, so I think the last time was maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
But again, from time to time, when he's not in Spain, he's over here. You'll bump into him and stuff, and it's always great to sit down and have a chat with him and stuff. So he has time for everyone. So
yeah,
I always look forward to catching up and I suppose reminiscing.
Yeah. Well, it was great times when you played for us, and thanks for the memories, mate.
Yeah,
The memories will never fade, Dele Adebola. The memories will never fade, mate. Not ever. Even though I'm not very good at remembering the memories.
Good night, everybody.
Just 1 minute before you go.
Well, quickly.
Here's Bo the cat.
Oh, hey.
Her name's Bo. Hey, baby.
That's brilliant.
She's gone. Dele Adebola,
And we
thank
are.
you for being with us tonight on the Monday Night Talk Show. We'll be back here next Monday, 7:30 through till 8:30. Paul Ipkiss, thank you ever so much indeed.
Pleasure as
Mrs.
always.
Brown. Dele Adebola.
Hello.
Top man. Cheers, buddy. Take care. See you down the Blues soon.
Cheers.
Good night.
See you, mate.
Put the pointer on when we sing